Members of the National Assembly are this afternoon expected to start debate on the IEBC report tabled last week. Most of the members are expected to support the report after both CORD and Jubilee top leaders backed the report. Parliamentary reporter, beg your pardon, Patrick Amimo now joins us live from Parliament with more details on that. A very good afternoon to you, Patrick. Many thanks for joining us on News Desk. Finally, the day has come for the debate and probably the adoption of this particular report with or without amendments. How would you describe the mood in Parliament? Do we expect this to be a smooth sail through for this particular bill?
Thank you, Akisa. Indeed, it is this afternoon we expect the Joint Select Committee report on IEBC to be tabled before the Houses. One of the issues that are going to be canvassed is one to see that distinguished exit of IEBC commissioners to allow for a new formation of a new IEBC by September 30th. The other issue is also to allow these
All right, we seem to have a problem with that link, but definitely our parliamentary reporter Patrick Amimo will be joining us later on in the bulletin with details on how we expect members of Parliament to treat this particular bill once it gets to the floor of the House. And I understand we have him again. We'll just go back to Patrick Amimo to give us the highlights of some of the things we should expect this afternoon when members of the National Assembly will be debating this particular report by the Joint Parliamentary Select Committee. Patrick, you were saying?
Indeed, one of the issues that I was saying is that some of the things that are aligned before the National Assembly this afternoon is to ensure that there is a law in place that will facilitate the exit of the current commissioners in a distinguished manner, given that the Select Committee did not find any probable reason for them culpable reason maybe for misconduct or misappropriation of the procurement of BVR kits. The other aspect will be to strengthen IEBC, and the third one to ensure that we have electoral processes in place to ensure that the 2017 general election is free and fair. But to get maybe to the gist of the matter, I have Nandi Hills Member of Parliament with me, Alfred Keter, maybe to give us the mood of the House as this report comes to the House, where some of the concerns are Mr. Keter maybe on this particular bill, given that we have seen the core principle together with even in the ruling Jubilee coalition say that you should support this particular report without amendments. Maybe your take on this report as it comes to the floor of the House this afternoon.
Thank you so much. I want to really state very clearly that we are in support of most of the report. But where we are disagreeing is where we are not allowed to do amendments. I think few individuals, 14 members or 12 members, cannot reason on behalf of the entire Parliament. We have over 347 members in National Assembly and about 67 members in the Senate. They must be allowed to interrogate the report. There are issues that we are not agreeable with, issues touching on which are contradicting our constitutional rights on the Bill of Rights, freedom of association, where any member who is running for an elected position is not allowed to move to any other party or to run as an independent after losing nominations. And we have we understand we have a background in Kenya where most primaries are very they're not straight. You find issue where most primaries have preferred candidates. We have 80 members of Parliament who had to party hop from another party to another, or to independent statue because of issues in the primaries. So we will not, we will be forced to not to pass this report. I think we will not support it for those two reasons. And there is another issue where another article of this report where they are suggesting that IEBC can postpone elections. I think the issue of election date is well stipulated in our constitution. So there is nobody which can really guarantee and say when. So we will oppose. We will oppose.
Indeed, those are the views from Nandi Hills lawmaker Alfred Keter. Indeed, I have also another member of Parliament here just to get to know the gist of this particular matter on how members are treating this particular report plus the different bills that are set before them for debate. Mheshimiwa, what's your take on this report that is coming to the House this afternoon?
Two things. One, there are a lot of good things in this report, and a lot of work has gone into it. But there are a number of areas which cannot pass as they are. One, partly because they are against the constitution, they're discriminatory by law, and if I to pick one of them as an example is the issue of the nomination process for candidates, where parties are required to take a name to 21 days earlier to the nomination process itself to IEBC. And historically, we have known how parties do nominations in this country. Party nominations in this country is not at a mature level. It is certificates are given to whoever the boss first likes it. So what happens in a situation where a member have been unfairly rigged out from that nomination process? If you adopt this report literally, what it means is you have nowhere to go, including even being an independent candidate. If you are to look at the current House today, we have 64 members of parliament who did not go through the first party of choice nomination, switched to other parties, and still got elected. What it means is that these nominations was not done in a fair manner, because at the end, finally, the people who got those certificates were kicked out by electorate. In fact, in my view, what this select committee has done itself, I think it has converted itself to like the Council of Elders in Mandera County, which entirely kicked everybody, from the governor, 8 elected members of parliament, and 18 MCS. I think this select committee, what it wants to do that is that, and you know, when the moment that parties are aware that whatever happens to you in the nomination, you cannot go anywhere else, what will stop them from giving the nomination certificate to their relatives, friends, and girlfriends, and everybody? So I think we will not accept and we will not allow the select committee to turn to itself into a council of elders and literally kick out every member from this house through a rigging process. Thank you.
Indeed, those are various concerns coming from members of parliament here as we await the debate and adoption of that report this particular afternoon. In fact, lastly, I have another member of parliament, Mr. Bowen, just to give us these concerns about this particular report, and especially the bills when members are supposed to have their party list 90 days before the election date. Mheshimiwa, your concerns about this report?
Yes, this report, which is before parliament this afternoon, there are serious concerns about the report. And the first one being that the committee went to say they want to negotiate how the commissioners are going to leave office. And they come up with some terms which are very unlawful to say that they want to give a dignified exit of the commissioners. There is nothing in the law called a dignified exit of commissioners. We want to see a report whereby if the commissioners committed a crime, they should be taken to jail. If the commissioners committed any offense in their office, let's have the charge sheet for each and every commissioner. But the issue of coming out with some unlawful means, that one is not acceptable. Number two, the issue also party hopping. We've had even the right Raila Odinga yesterday saying that we need to pass this report without amendment. This is a parliament. And as parliamentarians, we are allowed to make laws, and laws is about amending where necessary, adding where necessary, and also coming up with the new clauses. So we believe we are experienced enough. We have what it takes to be members of parliament here. And if this report is supposed to be passed here in parliament, we need to bring an amendment. And if amendments are not allowed here, we are going to reject this report outright. Number two, even on the case of paying the commissioners, what law are they going to use to pay these commissioners? Because it's not provided for in the law. How are they going to be paid? Because the law provides that you are only paid on the hours you work in office. So when you say you are going to pay them so that they can exceed, under what law? So actually, I'm surprised that even in the select committee, there were some very good lawyers, experienced lawyers who were in that committee, but they went ahead to write a lot of illegalities in the bill. That is why, as members of parliament, this afternoon, I am among those who is going to reject this report.
Indeed, very, very powerful sentiments coming from we've sampled at least 3 legislators. Some of them are opposed to the report, especially when it comes to party hopping, and also divergent views on whether IBC commissioners should be paid up to November 2017 when their term in office ends. Back to you, Akisa, from Parliament here. I'm Patrick Amimo.